In February 2026, a software engineer named Sami Isduful hooked his DJI robot vacuum cleaner up to a PS5 controller so that he could drive it around the house like a video game. To make the controller work, he used an AI coding assistant to reverse engineer how the robot talked to the DJI cloud servers. Once he was inside the channel, something happened which he had not anticipated. He wasn't only talking to his own vacuum cleaner, he could reach roughly 7,000 of them across 24 countries, with live camera feeds, audio from the microphones, and floor maps of the strangers' homes. A reporter at The Verge handed him a serial number. Within minutes, Isduful was watching that robot clean the reporter's living room and making it transmit a floor plan of the house. After the story broke, DJI said the issue was resolved. However, Isduful said not all of it was. 5 months later, that story turned up in a US national security document. This is now officially considered a national security concern, and in reaction to this and stories like it, the US has restricted the import of any foreign-made robotic devices. Although not specifically stated, this seems to affect one country more than any other: China. For America itself, will these restrictions actually help national companies compete better, or will not having access to cheaper, available droids dramatically impede wider research and development in the US? On the 28th of July 2026, the FCC added 2 categories to the covered list. The register of equipment Washington treats as an unacceptable national security risk. Huawei was already on it since 2021, so was ZTE, and foreign-made drones went on in 2025. Now, foreign-made power inverters and foreign-produced advanced robotic devices, including humanoids and quadrupeds, have also been added. A White House-convened interagency body signed the determination the day before, citing 3 incidents: the DJI vacuum, a September 2025 exploit that let attackers take over Unitree humanoids, then scan for more nearby, effectively making a botnet, and a pre-installed backdoor found on Chinese quadrupeds in April 2025. The banned advanced robotic device is officially defined as anything that moves on the ground, navigates on its own, weighs over 4.4 pounds with its dock, and contains these 3 things: a sensor, software running its autonomy, and a network link capable of at least 200 kilobits per second. The last part is particularly interesting, as by these definitions, the FCC does not regulate robots per se. It appears to be more about the collecting and transmitting of data, or ability to control it, and the primary bottleneck here is radio. Basically, anything emitting radio frequency energy in the US needs an FCC equipment authorization before it can be imported or sold. Every advanced humanoid or quadruped has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. While they may run certain processes completely on device, generally speaking, they still need to have some connectivity. Because of this, new models can no longer get that authorization, so they cannot legally enter the US market. Models already approved can still be sold and used, however, they just cannot have their hardware changed. Security patches stay allowed under a waiver run until 2029. Companies can, however, apply for conditional approval, but only the Department of War can grant one for a robot, and the application demands your ownership, your supply chain, and the plan to manufacture in America. On paper, this new rule is country neutral. Foreign produced means anything that fails the Buy American content test. Beijing, however, did not read it as neutral. On the 30th of July, China's Commerce Ministry said the move severely damages China-US economic and trade stability, and demanded a withdrawal, threatening countermeasures. China holds a few important cards here. They can restrict rare earth sales and squeeze market access for Tesla and Nvidia. However, that's already part and parcel of Trump's trade war with China. So who does this actually impact, and who was buying Chinese humanoids in America? After all, you don't tend to see humanoids in public use yet, and they're only just starting to be used and tested in factories. In fact, most of the sales go to universities and labs. Unitree's G1 launched at $16,000, with the research edition at near $44,000. That's a bipedal platform with 23 degrees of freedom, LiDAR and depth sensing, roughly equivalent to the cost of one industrial robot arm traditionally. Vulnerable Unitree units were found on networks at MIT, Princeton and Carnegie Mellon, which tells you where they went. America now represents 13 to 20% of Unitree's total revenue. Research imports are not fully closed, however. Unauthorized devices can still come in for R&D under existing FCC exceptions, but the cap is currently 4,000 units, and the FCC has proposed cutting it down to 40. Robotics advisor George Steeler warned that this could slow America's physical AI work by cutting researchers from the cheap platform before Western equivalents exist. There's a precedent here too. The US has restricted Chinese drones for years and still has no competitive mass-market drone maker. One of the only makers, Skydio, quit consumer drones in 2023. Of course, America is now making robots, but they are generally not that close to market. Boston Dynamics, for example, committed its entire 2026 Atlas run internally to Hyundai and Google DeepMind. None of it is for sale, and in any case, estimates put a single Atlas between $145,000 and $400,000. And the factory that's meant to build 30,000 Atlas units a year does not start line work until 2028. Tesla is behind on its own numbers. It targeted 5,000 Optimus units in 2025, yet only built a handful. Musk claims the pace is impossible to predict because Optimus has roughly 10,000 unique parts on a new line. 1X's Neo is supposed to be shipping this fall. However, the company have indicated that this is more of a consumer-targeted product, and the rollout is actually focused around them building out their training data for future products. Apptronik also has a few Apollos out there for research purposes, but this doesn't appear to be a robot which is commercially available at the moment. The robot that Washington basically just blocked is not just the only real option currently available, but it also represents a cheaper predicted cost than most of the coming US alternatives, meaning more people could have access to this platform. And also, having shipped 5,500 units last year means there is already workflow in place for this platform, and institutions and real-world data have been fed back to make the product more stable and likely easier to work with. Most robotics development does not revolve around making physical products, and this move may actually put US institutions and private developers on the back foot, allowing Chinese and European researchers to possibly get ahead. However, there is a counter-argument. Standard Bots, which just raised $200 million to expand its US manufacturing, called this one of the strongest technology security actions in modern US history, and said it lobbied for it. The idea being that a protected market is one way an industry gets built. One of the major problems with this argument, however, is the hardware. Motors, gearboxes, reducers, and the magnets inside them come to roughly 55% of the materials used. Those motors need neodymium iron boron magnets between 0.4 and 1.5 kilograms per robot, of which China refines and sinters more than 90% of the world's supply. Harmonic drive reducers from Western suppliers currently run lead times of 26 weeks or longer, which is why the Wall Street Journal found in April 2026 that America's flagship humanoids were full of Chinese parts. Unitree motors inside a robot built by Nvidia and Google, and a Tesla team in China sourcing cordless motors and speed reducers for Optimus. Morgan Stanley estimates the Chinese supply chain can cut the cost of building a humanoid by up to 2/3. The actuators represent tooling, metallurgy, and precision machining that the US stopped doing a decade ago. However, this leads us back to the start. The real worry here is the hackability, which realistically equates to spying, data collection, IP theft, or remote piloting by bad actors. Although institutions could be on the back foot with R&D, if the results being fed into the robots can be stolen, then it may negate the research in the first place. On the other hand, with many large US tech companies known for their commercialized data collection, could they be trusted either? And even if Unitree do start getting manufactured, or most likely assembled in the US, possibly mostly by robots themselves, how does this address the data transmission here if the company that owns them is still Chinese? It seems the brain of the robots here is the real issue. And unless universities start building their own, which may be highly impractical on every level, then the future of robotics just becomes a large trust exercise, with few trustworthy people behind the curtains. Regardless, robotic development moves ever forward, and the main question for now is, will protected markets make American robots move faster, or just make it more expensive? With drones, the answer was more expensive, but we'll have to wait and see.